Center this.
Welcome everybody to today's press conference. We are here with Stanford and we are joined today first by Tim Tawa and then later by Coach David Esker. We will begin in just a minute. Just a few reminders for the media. Use the raise hand function if you would like to ask a question. You can do so on your control settings. When we call on you for a question, please state your name and affiliation, and we will go ahead and begin. If there are any questions for Tim, please go ahead and raise your hand now. And Tim, while we wait for some questions to pop in, why don't you talk about what it means to you to be here in Omaha this year?
Sure. It's surreal for me. I mean, I started as a freshman and, the culture in our program was kind of turning around and we made it to a regional and got eliminated by Fullerton again. And then my sophomore year, we were able to get out of the regional and get to a super regional at Starkville against Mississippi State. I went 2-0 out there. And then so to take that next step this year, to get to Omaha with this team, especially when nobody, I think, but us really believed in us to get here, it means a lot. And, it's a testament to the coaches, to the guys on this team, and all the hard work that we've put in. So it's really exciting. This place is amazing. Can't wait to get going tomorrow.
Thank you. And can you address some of the unique challenges your team has faced this year?
Sure. I mean, the biggest one was not having a fall. I think we had a good amount of guys, probably 20, that were able to come back, but not officially to practice in the fall. But we didn't really get together as a full team until 3 or 4 weeks, maybe 3 weeks before the season even started. So just dealing with that and COVID stuff was a challenge for us. And then we had a COVID week in the middle. A couple of our guys came down with it. And we ended up missing a Washington series, which kind of took us a little bit of a funk for maybe a week or two. So we've dealt with a lot of COVID stuff, but I think we've really stuck together well. And it's a testament to, just being together as a team, this culture that we've built here, and the coaches really believing in us.
Thank you. Just as a reminder, if you have questions for Tim, please go ahead and use the raise hand function. And we do have one here from Troy Clardy. Troy, please go ahead and ask your question.
Tim, good to talk to you. In some senses, how good of a dress rehearsal was it playing in front of fans, at least in front of as big a crowd as he did in Lubbock? How much of a dress rehearsal was it from that standpoint, as far as playing in front of an environment that you're going to find in Omaha for the next few days, for the next few weeks anyway?
Oh, it was definitely good. I mean, when we were playing at Sunken Diamond, the max we had was 600 fans, especially even for the regional. So getting to play in front of a couple thousand in Lubbock was nice. I think there's no way to actually fully prepare, though, our team for this atmosphere. I think we're just going to go out and play, and we got a lot of mature guys, a lot of senior leaders, too, on the field that'll help us deal with that. And I think that once we get comfortable, Eski always says the team that's going to have success here is the one that's going to get comfortable first. So I think once we get comfortable, once we settle in, we'll be perfectly fine.
All right, thank you. We still have time for a couple more questions. If anybody has them, please go ahead and raise your hand. All right, we're going to go next to Evan Bland. Evan, please go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, Sam. Yeah, Evan Bland from the Omaha World Herald. Congrats on making it to Omaha. I guess I'm just curious, for the fans that are going to come out and see you guys play, how would you describe your brand of baseball? What makes you guys go? What's made you successful?
Good pitching for sure. Good starting pitching. Good solid defense behind them. We've hit a lot of home runs this year. I think we're just a team that plays together, plays solid all around. I think we're, a team that no one here really expects to win this tournament, but we believe it. So I don't know how to describe our brand, because it's a culture that we've built over these last probably 4 or 5 years. And it's something that I'm super happy to be a part of, super excited just to continue playing and still being here. So don't sleep on us.
All right, let's go next to Theo DeRosa. Sorry about that. Theo, go ahead with your question.
Sure, Tim. I cover Mississippi State. Obviously, 2 years ago, you were playing them in the Super Regionals down in Starkville. What do you remember about that experience and the atmosphere there in Starkville? And what does it mean to see them on the other side of the bracket here 2 years later?
I remember the atmosphere being amazing. I kind of walked out onto the field, and it kind of reminded me a little bit of being in Starkville, just with the bleachers, around the entire field. Congrats to Mississippi State for being here. They're a great team. Hopefully we get to play them if we get through our side of the bracket. But yeah, I remember the atmosphere being amazing. The fans were amazing. Just the environment was special for college baseball, and compared to the 600 fans that we got this year compared to their however many it was for the super regional. Yeah, that was one of my favorite college baseball experiences for sure, playing there.
All right, Tim, it looks like that's it for questions. So we will go ahead and bring Coach in next. You will be joined shortly by Coach David Esker. Again, if you have questions for Coach, please use the raise hand function, and we will get to as many as we can. Hi, Coach. Thanks so much for joining us again today. If you can, please go ahead with an opening statement, and then we'll get to questions.
Okay. Hey, we're really grateful and excited to be here. I'm so proud of this team that has, gone through so much. But, as Tim was mentioning, the foundation and core of our program is just kind of the togetherness and the brotherhood that our players have kind of built together. So there's some that have been here for the last 3 or 4 years, and as Tim mentioned, from winning a Pac-12 title during our first year and stumbling out of a regional to winning a home regional the last couple years to getting to a super regional and then kind of figuring out how to win on the road at a really tough environment, I think was just been huge for these kids, and will mark our program for the years to come and set a standard that we'll continue to try to follow for sure.
Thank you, Coach. We'll go ahead to questions. Again, if you have a question, please use the raise hand function and we will call on you. While we wait for some questions to pop in, Coach, can you talk about what has been the most meaningful part of this season with being with this team and all the challenges that you've faced?
Just watching the relationships grow. I think we have a great camaraderie amongst our players, and I think my assistant coaches have a great connection with them and can really ask really high standards from them, and they respond. And I think the fact that we felt that we've thrown everything that we've thrown at this club that they've accepted and embraced and responded, and we can coach them hard if we need to, but also we can put our arms around them and kind of walk them through what changes may need to be done or adjustments, and they've been more than willing to do whatever we've asked. And it's been obviously a different kind of season without fall practice, and even with a COVID pause right in the middle, which was a little bit of a struggle for us. But to come out the other side and just watch all the hard work that they put in, and just kind of the trust that they've put into each other and the coaches, and watch it manifest itself into a College World Series appearance has been great. And this team really believes, and I'm excited to watch them play, and I'm excited to see how they handle the World Series games. But I have nothing but confidence they're going to play loose and free and give themselves the best chance to win.
Awesome. We'll go now to a question from Troy. Troy, please go ahead with your question.
Hey, Coach, congratulations and welcome back to Omaha. 2 things, if I can. One, how has Zach Gretsch's role kind of evolved throughout the course of the season, and how do you think he could be used? What sort of roles could he have in Omaha?
Well, God, he's kind of done everything for us, right? If you look at that, 13 saves, I think he has 5 wins, 18 decisions for us, and he's actually started a game and he's come in early, and we've kind of used him wherever he's been needed. And again, I think we're looking that he's got to be a main factor on the back end of the game. He's been throwing well as of late, and we feel like he's going to be one of our main options when the game gets to the 8th, 9th inning. So, hey, if we got to a 3rd game and hadn't used him yet, and it looks like a good matchup, it may be something where he could start a game as well to just see if he can get the game rolling and get it to our middle relievers.
Second thing, I haven't seen Vincent Martinez for the last few weeks, I don't believe. How's he been doing?
He's doing fine. Yeah, no, just making some adjustments, and in the meantime, you stick in a spark plug like Tommy Troy, and he just kind of gives you a little bit of lightning in a bottle, and gives a spark to your offense. And Vince for sure is still an option for us, and he's doing fine, and we look to use him in some big spots.
Thank you. Let's go next to Evan. Evan, go ahead with your question.
Hey Dave, Evan Bland here from the Omaha World Herald. Congrats on making it back. A couple questions also for you. I guess first of all, when you look at this matchup against NC State, you guys both hit home runs, play defense at a high level. How would you break down this matchup, and maybe what it'll take to pull this one out? Yeah,
it'll probably come down to a sacrifice bunt and a jam shot base hit late in the game, right, with 2 home run hitting teams, and it'll probably be a pitcher's duel. So, hey, we have great respect for them. They've got great athletes and some great offensive players, and it's kind of the two giant killers, really, right? When we're able to go to Lubbock and win at Texas Tech, and they go to Arkansas and win at Arkansas, I don't think you can. It's probably a matchup of two teams that weren't expected to win in their respective super regionals, but were tough enough and good enough to get out of them. So it's going to be a great contest, and it'll be interesting to see how the two offenses adjust to TD Ameritrade Park, whether it's going to play big or small, or whether it takes our home run game away or adds to it. So the conditions are probably going to play a big part in it, and starting pitching is going to play a big part in it. So it's going to probably be the tone will be set by both starting pitchers, and then just who can maybe get a big hit with runners in scoring position.
And then secondly, kind of an unrelated question, but with the Major League Draft in July this year, I guess I'm curious, as someone who's been around the game as long as you have, what are the pros and cons of that pushed back draft from your vantage point as opposed to when it traditionally has been?
Yeah, at times people have talked about just the distraction, right, that could happen, whether it be, elation and excitement or just disappointment for some of the kids who maybe thought they would get drafted higher than they actually were. I don't know that I prescribe it. It's been around forever that way. I guess having it outside of the College World Series does take a distraction part out of the equation. It probably makes us just even a little bit more anxious for our high school kids that may get drafted. It just extends that a little bit longer. So it's a little on both sides, right? You'd want to know what your program is going to look like in the future, but also it affects your program in the now. So not having it as a distraction, I'm sure there's a lot of coaches that are appreciative of that, and they can just kind of go on and continue to play with their teams and their teammates, and then worry about those professional opportunities, later on in the summer.
Thank you.
All right, we'll give it one more minute or so. If we have any other questions, please go ahead with your hands. Go ahead and raise those. I know it's early for our friends on the West Coast today, for sure. And it looks like there are no more questions. So, Coach, we really appreciate you taking this time today, both you and Tim, to join us. And for those joining us from the media side, you will be able to find a recording of this in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at www.ncaa.veritone.com. Thanks so much, Coach. We appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.